So, down to our topic today, it's data security. It happens to fall under number 005, which is computer programming, programs and data, according to the DDC. So, the DDC is actually the Dewey Decimal Classification Scheme used in libraries to classify books on shelves for easy access actually, so that you cannot waste much time finding a certain book. So it runs from 001 to 010, I guess. And it happens that data security is under the topic 005. So let's find out what data security is actually. So data security, it is a process of ensuring data is only available to those who need it for a legitimate purpose. As you all know that data can be lethal, very much lethal actually, when it falls into the wrong hands, maybe on cyber criminals. It can actually shut down an entire company. That's how dangerous data is. And data security is not that quite different from other forms of security. The details might be different, but the approaches, the rules, and the same lessons apply. Actually, even the same disciplines also apply when dealing with data. And controlling access to data helps ensure privacy and it is a requirement by the federal agency policies and regulations. So let's dive right into some facts about data and maybe figure out some things that might be myths and misconceptions about data. So you cannot fully protect data. There is no thing such as absolute security. We can only raise the attacker's cost of breaching our data security to a very high level, but absolute guarantees cannot be possible. Yeah, data is always a matter of economics. I mean, what is the value of what you are protecting? How much time, effort, and money are your opponents willing to spend to get through your defenses? So it is actually a matter of economics. And an attacker does not go through your security, but around it. Their goal is to find and exploit the weakest link. So it's very hard for an attacker to decrypt a firewall, but it is much easier to breach a link that leads him around the firewall. And it's actually safe to never underestimate the power of your assets. Often, commonly, every data is underestimated, and mundane data can be very important. You can find yourself playing around your passwords. Maybe you forgot that you saved it under your email account. Your attacker finds your email account and your passwords, and your accounts go boom, zero, down to the ground. So let nobody advise you on how much you should underestimate your data. Yeah, ask around. People have heard stories based on trusting people, mostly from cyber. Cyber means that it's anything related to connected computers through your device. So please take care of your data. It's actually easy to take care of your data. We'll come to that. But first, let us dive into the challenges that big data companies may face. So, securing and protecting data in real time is actually a challenge due to the large amounts of data generation. Most organizations are unable to maintain regular checks. However, it is most beneficial to perform security checks and observe in real time, or at most in real time. So it's actually very difficult to manage all the data entered in a system in a server, because most servers handle bulk data, which is very tiresome to deduct, to go through bit by bit. So another challenge they might face is data provenance. And under data provenance, to classify data, it's necessary to be aware of its origin in order to determine data origin accuracy, so that you can authenticate, validate, and access control can be gained. So when you're dealing with a lot of data, it's hard to go down to the root of its origin. Very difficult actually to authenticate and validate that data. So the other challenge is protecting access control methods, communication, and encryption. So a secure data storage device is an intelligent step to protecting your data. Yet, because most often data storage devices are vulnerable, it is important to encrypt the access control methods as well. So let's go a little bit quicker because, yeah, classification of data security threats. So we can classify data security threat according to the type, according to its physical damage, for example, fire or floods, according to natural events, for example, climate, volcanic activities. Yeah, these are natural events that you cannot control. You can classify it according to the compromise of information via eavesdropping, depth of media, etc. Technical failures, for example, equipment or softwares. You can also classify it like compromise of functions and errors in use, abuse of rights. Classification according to origin, yeah, that's going down to its roots. You can classify it according to its, is it deliberate, is it accidental, environmental, or negligence. So deliberate might be aiming at information assets like spying or illegal processing of data. Accidental, it might be equipment failure or software failure. Environmental can fall for natural events, loss of power supply, and negligence can be known but neglected factors compromising the network safety and sustainability. So let's down to categories of security threat risk. So these risks cause a lot of repercussions actually. They can cause damage. I mean, how bad would that attack be? How much is it affecting you? How much is it affecting your company in terms of damage? It can also affect you by its reproducibility. How easy is it to reproduce the attack? Its exploitability. How much work is it needed to launch the attack? Affected users. How much users, how many users will be impacted? Discoverability. How easy is it to discover the threats? So some of these security risks, security threats are actually controllable. So if a potential malicious actor has access to a computer system, they have a greater chance of inflicting harm upon it. So we can use these countermeasures to deal with such malicious actions. So we can use electronic destruction devices. So devices such as a USB killer may be used to damage or render completely unusable anything with a connection to the motherboard of a computer. Without paper destruction, these devices may result in the destruction of ports and anything physically connected to the device attacked, e.g. monitors. We also have hard drives and storages. So if the data of a storage device is in use and must be secured, one can use encryption to encrypt the contents of the storage device or even encrypt the whole storage device. The device can be unlocked by password, biometric authentication, a network interchange, or any combination thereof. Yep. So let's dive into the common computer threats. We've got the most popular one, it's computer viruses. So these are small piece of software that can spread from one infected computer to another. These viruses could be corrupt, steal, or delete data in your computer. You've got a Trojan horse or a Trojan horse. Yeah, it depends on your accent. So users can infect their computers with this software simply by downloading an application they thought was legitimate but was infected or malicious. we've got a malicious spyware. So a malicious spyware is used to describe a Trojan application that was created by cybercriminals to spy on their victims. Yeah, sounds creepy actually. So an example would be a keylogger software that records a victim's every stroke on his keyboard. So this can actually record most things without your knowledge. And the recorded information is periodically sent back to the originating cyber criminal over the internet. Yeah, we've got a computer worm. Yeah, the worm. This is the software program that can copy itself from one computer to another without human interaction. So a worm can send copies of itself to every contact in your email address book and then send itself to all contacts in your contact address book. Yeah, that's dangerous. So we've got a spam. Spams are quite popular. So these are the security context. It is primarily used to describe unwanted messages. So spam is a nuisance as it can clutter your mailbox as well as taking up your space on your mail server. We've got a passing. So passing scams are fraudulent attempts by cybercriminals to obtain private information. They can often appear in the guise of an email message. Yeah, an email message designed to appear as though they are from legitimate sources. And finally, we've got a rootkit. So, a rootkit, this is a collection of tools that can be used to obtain administrator level access to a computer or a network of computers. So, it can actually be installed on a computer by a cybercriminal exploiting a vulnerability of security hole in a legitimate application on your PC and may contain spyware that monitors and records keystrokes. Yeah, so we tend to find it the same as a malicious one. Yep. So let's figure out how we can protect ourselves from these cyber criminals. So actually, what everything tells you is use a strong password. Always use a strong password. So please don't repeat your passwords on different data and software. Make them complex, a little bit complex numbers, combination of numbers, letters, and symbols. This is way safer as it cannot easily be cracked. Yep. And keep your software updated. This is especially important with your operating system and internet security systems. Cybercriminals often use known exploits in your software to gain access to your system. So keeping it updated is actually patching those exploits. You can actually strengthen your network. Using a VPN will be a good idea actually, as it has a strong encryption as well as it leaves traffic leaving a device until it arrives at your destination. It encrypts that traffic, yeah. So it's a little bit it's more safe actually. Yeah, you should also keep up to date on major security breaches. So if your data has been impacted by a security threats, find out what information the hackers accessed and change your passwords immediately. Yeah, no time for leisure. And we should also understand that identity theft can happen anywhere. So it's important to protect your data, for example, by using a VPN when accessing the internet over a public Wi-Fi network. Yeah.
To the conclusion of this video, we get to understand that data security is an integral part in the today world, which turns mostly into computer things, computer-driven mechanisms, and understanding the dangers that it poses helps you safeguard yourself from falling to the trap of cyber criminals and anything that can get you manipulated. So, in short, our conclusion is that you deal with the measures of security, how to secure your data. Also understand that cyber activities can happen anywhere. They can target absolutely anybody without any reason. So just be safe. Follow the tips that I've offered to you right now. Till we meet again.